The small things that amuse me, right? So I am going to do my morning routine. It is 8:11 a.m. here in southeast Queensland in Australia, and it has been like a overcast morning. This morning I did a 10-minute meditation. And it was a beautiful meditation. It really was. It was with meditation motivation with Marie, and she was talking about in the guided meditation about opening up you breathe in and then you pull your angel wings out. I thought that was really, really nice. So you like breathe in, and when you breathe out, you. I was like, yeah, it was kind of really nice actually. You know, we all have angel wings, right? I think I'm an angel. Debatable what other people think, but I don't care. What other people think, I don't care about, right? You should only care about what you think about yourself. So anyway, I'm Dora, and generally, some Wednesday, Friday, sorry, a Friday morning, I'm at Pilates, but my Pilates class got changed this week. Hey, Simply Debbie Sue says, "Hi Dora, I was getting ready to reply back to your email. We'll do it later tonight." Laugh. Yes, well, I thought I deserved to, I should actually reply to your email. I mean, I say fabulously that I'm a terrible emailer, terrible email. But you'll read all about it, Debbie Sue. I will not take away from the email. Otherwise, what's the use of you reading my email, right? So you'll read it all in the email. So good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, I should say. So yeah, I normally am in Pilates, but it got cancelled. And when I was doing my 10-minute meditation, opening up my angel wings, actually, Debbie Sue, do you ever do meditation? I should send you the meditation. So basically, what it was it's 10-minute guided meditation with meditation motivation with Marie, and I will link it in my live stream, in the notes of the live stream at the end, if anyone's actually curious. But she was talking about opening up your angel wings, so kind of visualization. But while she was doing some deep breathing, like you're breathe in, breathe out. But she said, put your hands on your chest, and I'm lying down, right? So just pretend I'm lying down, and she's like, breathe in, and then breathe out. So you're opening up your angel wings. Can you see my angel wings just getting bigger and bigger? It's very nice, actually. And then she talked about how, visualizing, like, uh, a sunrise. And I'm thinking to myself, well, in 20 minutes, the sunrise will be, up too. So I was like peering out of my bed, looking out the windows, and it's grey, like grey. And I'm like, where am I? Am I in England? Like, England has grey skies. Southeast Queensland is known for a sunny state, right? Queensland, the state I live in, is known as the sunshine state. So I'm like, where is the sun? It's winter, Dora. It's winter. Just accept it's winter. And winter is only such a small period of time in Australia. So to be honest, suck it up, princess, and just, go with it. So I thought this morning, you know what? It looked like rain clouds. And I thought, you know what? Do I need to be going out and walking in the rain? I'm not training for that 30K walk this year, where I would normally put my jacket on and, go out in any weather and just, but you know what? I gotta look after the temple, right? Yeah, I'm sulking. I want to stay in bed. Let's just be honest. If you can't be honest to yourself, who can you be honest to, right? So I'm just being honest to a live stream. I know Debbie Sue's watching. There's two other people watching. Hello, how you going? Debbie Sue says here, I do some meditation. A few of my night stories will hint at taking some slow breaths and relaxing. Yes, you did actually say in your last one about breathing in. It's so good for you, right? Breathing in. And then we've got Samal Naku. Are you in the kink? Am I in the kink? As in like prison? Hopefully not. I'm at home. That is a bench behind me. I'm in a kitchen. I have a lemon in front of me. And yeah, I'm gonna make what I first need to do is do my morning coconut oil pour. So this will be interesting because it says there's 8 people there. So I've just got plain coconut oil that you cook with, right? It's organic. It's 100% pure. and I'm gonna mouth pull, oil pull. So you swish and swallow. You don't eat this. Mm. So I don't chuck the oil spit in the sink. Hey, Dr. Ninja, how you going? Because coconut oil down the sink is will, like harden and stuff your sink up, right? Just like you don't chuck normal oil down the sink. So I have a sippy cup. It's Friday here. I have like a week's worth of spit. You don't want to see my spit. You don't swallow this, you don't reuse this. It's kind of like worthless stuff. It's like all my saliva that I've been, holding in my mouth all overnight is in there. Blech. So I'll bury that. So when I was doing that 5 minutes, they say you should do 10 minutes. 10 minutes is opportune. Is that Mike Adventure Sparks? Hold on, I need glasses, guys. If you noticed, I actually took everyone off moderation. I did that purposely because I found that I had everyone as a moderator so that when new people came to my chat, they felt a little bit left out because everyone was a moderator. So welcome in Selena, how you going? And Kay Marshall, how you going? Hello, Dora. I'm here. How's your day? Are you still traveling, Dr. Ninja? Are you still traveling? I'm fogging up. Are you still traveling? Everyone say hello to Dr. Ninja and hello to Selena and Mike and Ninja Sparks. Hello, Mike. How are you? Did I send you a message? I sent you a message somewhere. I think on WhatsApp. I said hello. How are you? Yeah. Oh, shit. I've got to say, I haven't gone onto your channel for a little while, but then I think I went there the other day to see if you'd been doing live streams and see if I'd missed any live streams, and there's been no live streams. The last live stream was one I actually saw was when you were at a car race or something like that. No, Dr. Ninja, I have booted somebody. What? Debbie Sue. No, Dr. Ninja, I would have booted somebody. Is there a moderator? I'll make anyone. I'll make someone a moderator. Well, look, let me go with what I'm going to do is I know Debbie Sue is like one of my dear friends and she is in my live streams a lot. So I'll make one person moderator. Now, guys, can I just please put out there, being a moderator doesn't mean anything. Debbie Sue will probably say, I don't want to be a moderator. I don't want to be a moderator. Give it back, Dora. Give it back. Moderator doesn't mean anything. I made everyone a moderator because I wanted everyone to be able to check each other out. Everyone knows each other, so I don't need to, you don't need to check each other out. So can I just say that I know I need one moderator just in case that I have some weirdos in the chat asking me if I'm a Ku Klux Klan or something like that. That's a bit rude, isn't it? Are you in the cake? I mean, come on. That's a bit rude. And see, in my case, I would say, just go away. Like, I don't engage. But that's why I know, like Dr. Ninja said, is there anyone a moderator? So let me make one person a moderator. Otherwise, hey, Nicholas, how you going? Like, Nicholas knows Mike. Nicholas knows Debbie Sue. Dr. Ninja knows Mike. Everyone knows each other, so I don't need to make everyone a moderator. And please, if I'm a moderator on your channel and you want to take me off moderator, that's fine. I don't mind. Dustin Decisions. Hello, Jordan. Hello. I never talk in lives, but I do join and I like. I wouldn't know if or when you took off a moderator. And Jordan is my friend. Dustin Decisions is Jordan. I thought of you guys know Jordan. He's been on a couple of our live streams when we've had our fun hat or the wig. I think we did the wig one and Jordan wore a hat. Do you guys remember Jordan? Jordan he was living in Florida. Where are you now? Are you in Cleveland? Somehow I think you're in Cleveland or something. So Jordan actually went to Kenya. Was it Kenya that you went to at the beginning of the year to do some study? Okay. So Debbie Sue has got rid of the weirdo in the chat. Hey, Kirsty, how you going? Hey, Matt. Sorry, not Matt. Paul. Hey, Paul, how you going? Let me just drink my drink, guys. We vote for Debbie Sue. Okay. Debbie Sue's it. Hello. Everyone's saying hello. Yeah, I know just about everyone. Yeah, Jordan knows everyone too. Texas. Okay, you're in Texas. Right. So you're on the same, is that classed as Central Time? Same as, I think, Debbie Sue, you're in Virginia. Is that classed as Central Time too? Uganda. Okay, Jordan, help me out here. When you were in Jordan, you are Jordan. When you were in Uganda, because actually, Jordan, let me go back a step. I'm going to Africa in about 60 days. Less than 60 days, actually. I'm doing a 3-week trip with some school friends from high school. It's raining now, actually, guys. So I made a really good decision not going out walking this morning. Yes, I'm being a princess. I could put a jacket on. But yeah, I'm doing a trip that is very, very different to any trip I've done. I have done some group tours before, but they've always been backpacking style, like bare bones, very, not, cheapish, public transport. I love that kind of style. That is my style. But I got roped into, in a very weak moment. I don't know if you guys remember, but last year, bit of story time. Last year, I celebrated my 50th birthday and Diego took me to Samoa for my birthday. I had an amazing time there. I did lots of live streaming. That's how Paul and I made friends, actually. Paul D in Australia and I made really good friends. I mean, I'd already made friends with Paul in, comments and stuff, but I started doing live streaming. And I started live streaming like the blowholes and all these different things. And then Paul jumps on and he's actually really engaged. And I'm like, oh, hello, Paul, how you going? And we get talking, where you from, blah, 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 blah. And before you know it, a year later, I'm meeting up with him in Bali. So be careful who you make friends with on live streams, right? Be very careful. um, but then on that holiday, I found a WhatsApp message that I hadn't actually read, and I couldn't open the message. For some reason, I couldn't open it. So I asked her to resend me the message, and she said, "That's weird." She said, "Okay, well, I wondered why you hadn't responded." She goes, "I invited you to my wedding." I'm like, "Oh my God, when are you getting married?" And she goes, "Uh, next month." And I'm like, "Oh crap. I mean, I'm in Samoa right now." And I said, "Look, I can't come. Like, that's not enough notice." And she goes, "Yeah, I did give you the notice." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't get the message." And then she's a dear friend of mine. She's a Mexican friend that I made friends with when I was 25, when I was living in Mexico. And she's been living in Paris. And I went to visit her in Paris a few moons ago. And now she's living in Lyon. And she's getting married to her French husband or French fiance. And I really wanted to go. But as a friend, I really wanted to go, but you can't do everything in life, right? And I said to Diego, I said, "Look, I can't go. I didn't get enough timing. I can't go." And he goes, "Well, I mean, you could. I mean, how much are the flights?" I said, "Look, it's probably really late notice now. The flights will be expensive." Diego had a look. I think he got me. He said you can get a flight for $1,800 Australian, which is probably, I don't know, 1,200 US dollars, right? In the scale of life, it's not a huge lot of money, but in the scale of life, that is a lot of money, right? Plus, I need to take some time off work. I'm already having 2 weeks off in Samoa. Anyway, this is how my brain works, right? And Diego is a bit of a, at this stage, he's like, "This is the flight. You could do it." I'm like, "I could do it, but should I do it?" Anyway, long story short, I did do it, didn't I? Anyway, so I had a great time in Europe. I went for 10 days. When I came back from that holiday, I got a message from my girlfriend, Leah. And Leah's one of my best school friends. She actually visited me a few times when I was living in Mexico, when she was living in America. So we're pretty good friends. And she says to me, "Hey, look, I know the timing's not great. You've just come back from Samoa and you've just come back from from Europe." She goes, "You know how I'm going to Africa?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I did know you were going to Africa." She goes, "Well, there was four of us going." She said one person's dropped out, one of our girlfriends. So one of our friends, Rosanna actually came to visit me in Mexico also when I was living there, has pulled out. So we can rejig the whole package. So it was a private tour that they organised. Now, let me just add, my friend Leah is in different classes I am. Not that there's classes in life, right? But like, let's face it, like there's people that have high jobs, there's people that have normal jobs, and people that don't work. I guess you'd say they're classes. I think that's very discriminative, Dora, but let me go with this, okay, guys? Just hear me out. I'm not being discriminative. You know that I'm trying not to be discriminative, but there are some people that have high-paying jobs, okay? Like, I'm going to put it this way. Leah would probably be on $200,000 a year, probably more, $200,000 US, sorry, Australian. So that's probably, I don't know. I don't know what that'd be in American. But let's just face it, she's on big money. I am on half that plus less. Okay. I am just your normal Joe. Okay. My name's not Joe, but it's Dora. But I do fine, right? I'm always a big believer, and I don't know if this is you guys, and this is why I don't believe there's a class, because I believe that if you earn big money, you have big expenses. So, okay, you might earn $200,000, but you have you know, so much debt, and you buy expensive clothes, you drive expensive cars, you have expensive, you do your makeup, your nails, the blah 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 to go in with your lifestyle. Okay. So, and if like me, I have a normal job. I mean, I don't say I'm normal, but I have a job. I don't spend huge lots of money. I save a lot of money to go and travel. I have a house. I have a mortgage. We're renovating a house, so a lot of that goes into the renovations. But I don't buy a lot of stuff. You don't see me getting my nails done. I dye my hair myself. I get a cheap cut. Like I literally get a $20 cut. I don't go to a hair salon and get the $200 haircut. I mean, maybe you could say, look at my haircut and go, you probably need a $200 haircut, Dora. I don't care. Um, but I buy generally secondhand clothes. I don't spend a lot of money on clothes. I just like, you know what, they're clothes. Um, but so my bills are not big. Okay. So if you compare the $200,000 wage to like my wage, we probably come out the same, right? Because yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's all about anyway. I don't know why I'm going on a tangent about that. But anyway, she travels that way. When she travels, she goes to resorts. Like she goes to Hawaii a lot and stays in Waikiki Beach across like on the beachfront. If I went to Hawaii, to Honolulu, to Waikiki Beach, I probably wouldn't stay on the beachfront in a resort. It's just not my thing. I'd probably stay a little bit back where it's less touristy, maybe where the locals stay, or maybe not where the locals stay, but just like, something a little bit cheaper. Okay, yes, I'm a cheap ass, okay? I don't see the need to spend $300 on a hotel room when I could spend $60 on a hotel room. That is just how my friend travels. Like I said, she's got a different sense of money. She earns a lot more money, so she can spend a lot more money. So she says to me, "I need another person in the tour." But sorry, guys, I'm on a tangent, guys. Hey, Amanda, how you going? I did say hello to Kirsty, didn't I? Hey, Dean, how you going? If Dean's there too. Hey, guys, did you see the other day? Is Mikey off grid there? Is my friend Jim there? Do I see Jim? Jim, hey, stranger. Hey, how you going? Jimbo, how are you? I'm just completely off on a tangent, guys, talking about Jordan and how, oh, Matt. Hey, Matt, how you going? I'm completely off on a tangent. Everyone's in the chat. Everyone's in the chat. 50 million people are in the chat. That's what Doran says. 50 million people are in the chat. Like the live, like the live. I've got 9 likes. Okay, so let me keep. I'm digressing. I'm very digressing. I hate money. You know what, Matt? I don't particularly like it either. I'm like, it's a means to the end, right? Hey, Dora's mum. Actually, I don't know, mum. Are you there? Hey, mum. Good morning, mum. How are you? Nicholas is saying hello to mum. Okay, but let me go off on that. Let me not go on that tangent about money. But this trip. So she sent me the email. She said, "Look, can you look at the email? I know it's not the way you travel, Dora." And she goes, "I know it's not the way you travel, Muriara." Actually, she doesn't call me Muriara. She calls me Mugs. Does anyone know why people would call me Mugs? That's another story in itself too. I've got 3 stories going out in my head at the moment. Okay, so Jordan, I'm going back to the story. So she goes, Mugs, just read the email. I know it's not the way you travel, but just read it. I went, okay, righto. So I read the email. I first see the cost and I went, no mammoth way. So if you know Espanol, that's kind of a bit of a swear word, okay? I'm sorry. I like to swear, okay? I won't say what it is in English, but no mammoth way is a swear word in Espanol. And I went, no chance. That is not how I travel, and I don't see that's a lot of money. Um, anyway, then I messaged her back. I said, no way. I said, yeah, I know this. It looks like a great trip. She goes, did you read the itinerary? I went, no, I didn't. She goes, go back and read the itinerary. I went, okay, I'll go back and read the itinerary. So I went back and read the itinerary. It's bloody good, right? It's 3 weeks, Jordan, of you hit all the marks, not all the marks, but like in South Africa. You're doing like 4 different gaming parks. You're going to Cape Town. You're going to Zimbabwe to the big waterfalls. What else? Yeah, there's lots of stuff, right? And you're actually going to be. I'm going to be there when they do the Great Migration, right? So the Great Migration is where they have all the animals crossing the Serengeti. So look, it looks spectacular. So now I'm like, crap. This looks like a really, really good trip. But it's way out of my budget, right? It's not even in my brain. So Jordan, I'm like, I've always wanted to go to Africa, but I'm guessing it's five figures, and it wouldn't be something I'd consider at this point in my life. Well, okay, I'll be honest. It cost $15,000. It was $15,000, and that is just the accommodation. The I mean, this gets worse, guys. This gets worse. Okay, I'm just being completely honest. This is not how I travel. Okay, um, but she got me. She got me at a weak moment. I said, "Oh crap, it looks really good." Okay, but let me go back a step. Dora has always wanted to go to Africa. Just around the pandemic time, Diego and I were planning to go to Africa. We were going to do 3 months off work. We were going to not rent out, but like we're going to get a house sitter to stay in our house, and we were going to go to Africa and do a backpacking style, and see all the things you want to do in Africa, right? We got the Lonely Planets. This is how I travel, right? We get the backpack. We do it cheaply, okay? But I would be with Diego. Um, the pandemic happened. We decided not to go. We're going, a lot of our money is getting sunk into the house at the moment. So this is kind of not the greatest time to be going on to a trip, Mutiara, just to be honest, okay? It's not. But this was decided last year, okay? So coming back from that trip to Europe, I said no straight away. I started reading the itinerary and went, oh, crap, it looks good. And I said to Diego, I said, hey, look at this. I said, look at this. I said, this is ridiculous. I said, anyway, he lied on the bed and he read the itinerary and he goes, I'm going to be honest, that's actually really good value. He goes, yes, it's $15,000 Australian, which is, I don't know, 10,000 US dollars. I don't know. I don't even know. But he goes, but what you're actually getting is actually really good. He goes, if we did that together, just the two of us, he goes, there is no way it would cost that. He goes, that would cost $30,000 for two of us because this is private. This is just for four of us. And it's all private transportation. So again, it's not like how I travel. I like to travel with, buses and locals and all the kind of thing, right? I was able to do 4 weeks in Uganda for less than 3,000 US dollars. Living accommodation may not have been the greatest, but opportunities to see elephants, monkeys, buffalo, and a lot of birds. See, I know, you're right, but this trip that I'm doing is not actually in Uganda. Uganda, Rwanda, and Kenya are a lot more cheaper to travel. In Zimbabwe, Tanzania, and in South Africa, a little bit more expensive. Okay, so they're the three countries or kind of four countries that I'm going, but I'm only doing the gaming stuff in South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Tanzania. I'm just flying into Kenya and out of Kenya. So they're the three countries I'm really going to and doing the actual gaming reserves. And I'm doing four of them. I think in South Africa, I'm doing two of them. So anyway, I digress. So Diego's like, hey, look, we couldn't physically do that trip. And he goes, but then I said, but I wouldn't want to do that trip with you. I said, if we were doing that together, just me and you, we would be doing it, backpacking style. We would be joining other groups, so it would be cheaper. He goes, yeah, but the advantage of, what your friends are doing is that you get your own, like, safari. Like, you're all going to get a chair each. Like, you're not in one of those big buses that, some people will be in the middle, so you can't see. So, you take turns and all that stuff, but like, you're not always got the best seats, right? And they don't stop when you want to stop. It's all like part of a tour, which it's fine with. I'm fine with. He goes, but that's why your friends are paying so much more money because it's a private tour. I said, and I guess, your friends, it's a once in a lifetime thing. Not too many people go to Africa, more than once in their life, or twice in their life, or even at all. I've dreamed of going. I've never dreamed of doing it that way. So anyway, and I said to Diego, I said, well, I really want to go with you, right? He goes, yeah, I know. He goes, but I have no plans to go to Africa in the immediate future. He goes, yes, I wanted to go, back a couple of years ago, but that was before we were doing the house. And he goes, I want to do other things with my money. I have seen things about land being bought up there in mass quantities. Probably, yeah. Um, so anyway, I'm like, yeah, but I can't justify the money. I really can't justify the money. Just because you have the money doesn't mean you should do the money, you should spend it, right? Um, so I was like, I don't know. And then look, the other side of it is it was like a year and a half before we were going. This is a year and a half planning. And I said, And Diego's like, well, look, put it this way. She's not asking for the whole 15 grand right now. She's asking you for $4,000. So pay $4,000 and then you pay it off. So it's like a lay-by. Do you remember the old lay-by system, guys? We lay-by, your bike because, you really wanted this fancy bike, but we can't afford to pay for it. So we would lay-by it. And every couple of weeks you spend, another $10 off. And then eventually after 3 months you get your new bike. Now it's all instant, right? You put on your credit card or, Afterpay, layaway. Exactly, Amanda. I really think they need to bring that back in because no one sees the value of money. Everything is so instant, right? It's so normal to put everything down on a credit card, right? And I think Paul D. Australia, he doesn't even have a credit card. He's like, no, don't have a credit card. You don't have the money, don't spend it. Yeah, call it a layaway. Yeah, exactly. But they're not popular anymore. They're not popular. So anyway, I was like, okay, Diego doesn't want to go. Okay, not right now. He goes, not for the next 5 years at least. I'm keen on going. Hey, Shanster, how you going? Should pop in and say hello. Hello, mate. How are you? It's Wednesday. It's Friday morning. So here in Australia. So does that mean have you got a premiere happening this morning, Shanster? Okay, you have a little bit. Just let us know if you've got a premiere. Let us know, and that way I think you're normally about 10:30. So about an hour and a half. Is there another premiere? Anyway, let us know, and that way we'll go check it out. So anyway, go back with my story. I was like, okay, I could lay by it. Okay, just because something is that expensive, right, doesn't mean I shouldn't go. It means that, I have to save for it. And I have sacrificed quite a few things for it too. I've not been, doing my normal thing. Well, not that I've not been doing my normal thing. I have sacrificed, like I wanted to go to Sydney to see my sister and go to a rave. I didn't go. There's a few things that I've done that I've just went, you know what, I'm not going because I need to save the money to go to Africa. So I'm going to Africa. It's not the trip that I would plan, but it's a completely different way of travel. I've never traveled like, first class. It's not first class, but it's kind of like first class, right? See Amanda, he's come home early. Hey, Susan, how you going? Yes, in 2 hours. Okay, what's your premiere about, Shannon? If you drop the oh, you can't drop the link. Don't worry. I'll find it and I can put the link in. I've got my computer behind me so I can do that. Okay. So let me go back to my story. Hey Susan, how's Jasper this morning? How many wee wees have we had that we've accidentally spilt on your floor? It's so weird. Hey Paul, you've seen the puppy, hey? All right. So I need water. Okay. So Jordan, I'm going back to my story. Um So yeah, that's how a year and a half ago, literally nearly a year and a half ago, decided that I would lay by a holiday to Africa. Yes, it's cost me more than $15,000 at this stage because I've got to pay for my flights and other things. Okay, so yeah, as I said, this is going to be a trip that's completely different than I'm normally done. So hey, it might be good for my YouTube channel. Someone said. Okay, so video is about, so guys, Shances Travels got a premiere in about 2 hours, Sydney Harbour and the Rocks walking tour. Okay, that's amazing. So guys, the Rocks is a famous place in Sydney that is spectacular. It's the oldest area in Sydney. It's where basically the settlement was really started, and it's just under the Harbour Bridge. And a lot of the old buildings are still there. It's actually they're beautiful buildings. Okay, cool. I look forward to watching that. So I will put the link later on in my chat for you guys to click on. But in about 2 hours. Okay, so where am I going? Yeah, so I'm going to Africa. But that's for 3 weeks. I finished my trip in Zanzibar. Zanzibar is a popular island off Tanzania that is very, very well known for beautiful white beaches and beautiful turquoise water. I love my turquoise water. Love it, love it. It'll be very different because it's a very Muslim. Tanzania and the island of Zanzibar is very Muslim. So even though it's very Muslim, there's a lot of it's very beachy also. So it's going to be interesting to see the contrast, right? I will be staying 3 nights at like a hotel resort. Um, then my friends leave, and I'm actually going to stay, but I'm not going to stay at the hotel because I can't afford that, right? Because now they'll be traveling by myself. I'll be staying at a cheaper place. I haven't booked anything yet, but I plan to stay for another week in Zanzibar. Hey, Paul, enjoy your walk. Um, I plan to stay in Zanzibar for another week. Now, Jazz Nomad TV, who we were supposed to meet in Bali, Paul and I, and Nicola. Actually, Paul, before you go, I heard from Nicola the other day. Nicola jumped on one of my live streams to say happy birthday to Debbie Sue. She said that she's still in, I didn't really get to talk to her too much. I was a bit busy. But she said that she's still in Malaysia and things have been quite busy, but she sounded okay. So, yeah, anyway, I'll let you know later, Paul. I'll message you that anyway, if you didn't hear that. But anyway, so we're meeting up with Jazz. Jazz will be there 3 days after I stay there for so I go there. I'm going to be there for 3 days by myself, and then Jazz will turn up. Um, don't know what I'm going to do with Jazz, as in like, are we going to travel together? I'm not sure. I plan to then fly back to Nairobi, and I would like to do some kind of gaming park in Kenya because I would never have done that. I'll email you, so I'll DM you. I'll WhatsApp you, Paul. Okay. Um, I wouldn't mind doing another gaming park in Kenya since I haven't been to Kenya to do the gaming park since I'm obviously going to be when in Rome, I would have done 4 of them by this stage, and I don't personally think I'll be animaled out. A lot of people say there's a term called you're templed out, like when you go to Asia, there's lots of temples, right? Especially like Siem Reap in Cambodia, there's like temple after temple after temple after temple, and people say, oh, once you see one temple, you've seen them all. Not necessarily true, right? Because the temples are always very, very different. I think they're different. Some people would go, yeah, the same thing. I've seen one temple, I've seen them all. So some people might say, I've been to one gaming reserve, I don't need to see any more. I love animals. You see how excited I get when I see animals, like even the koala that, is, in my backyard, not really, but you know what I'm saying? It's nearly in my backyard. Even kangaroos are nearly in my backyard. Very, very sarcastically saying that because they're not in my backyard. It's just a funny thing that people say. Are they in your backyard? No, they're not. Um, but, I could drive right now to a place and I could see a koala, so 50-50. I could go to another place where I took Shannon and I could pretty much nearly 80% show that I could see a kangaroo. And I would be just as excited as Shannon was seeing a koala and a kangaroo in the wild for the first time because I love animals. Just like I would take you to go see platypus. I haven't seen platypuses in so long, guys. So long. Um, so yeah, like I love animals. So I don't think it's possible that I will be animaled out. So I figure that if I'm going to be in Kenya and I'm going to do a bit of traveling by myself, and Jazz might come up and meet up with me. So Jazz has got a few things going on herself. Like she plans to live in Tanzania, in Zanzibar. So she's trying to scout out a place to live. She wants to rent somewhere for 1 year. And even though she might not stay there the whole year, might Airbnb it or rent it out. She'll go, back to UK to see her family, or to France where her other family are, or she'll go to Gabon where her actual family are from originally. So she will be traveling too. So she doesn't want to spend the whole time in Zanzibar, but she wants to actually rent somewhere. So she'll be busy doing that. Susan got here. Sorry, I heard your question, but as soon as you asked, he needed to go out to the toilet. So no accidents yesterday. Yay! No accidents, no accidents. That's great, Susan. So Jasper, the dog, the little puppy, is getting toilet trained. Oh, Susan told me the cutest story the other day. Susan, if you got some time, tell a story about when Jasper. It was just so beautiful. You were lying in bed at 5:30 in the morning, and Jasper got woken up by the cat. There was just this beautiful story you told me, and it was so beautiful. It's your story. I want you to tell it. Mike saying hello to Susan and Paul. Paul's just left, unfortunately. Mike, he's gone to walking. but he'd probably be listening to us in the background. Paul's a bit of a lurker, right, Paul? But he won't respond unless I ask him something directly, but he probably still won't respond. Um, so, Jordan, I'll continue on with my story. So, my question to you, long story short, is that Kenya is right next to Rwanda and Uganda. Both are three countries that I really would like to see. And I would not have got to see on the 3 weeks that I'm doing that trip with my girlfriends from school. You won't ever get sick of watching the animals in their native environment. They're majestic. Exactly. Exactly. Shannon. So I figure if I'm going all the way to Africa for 3 weeks, I might as well tack on a couple more weeks and see some more stuff. So I plan to I haven't booked anything, but I plan to do something in Kenya. Actually, Shannon, were you in Kenya? I can't remember if you went to Kenya or not. So I plan to do something in Kenya. There is a volcano I really want to hike in Kenya. It's not dangerous, but when I was in Indonesia last year, I hiked a volcano, and I really love volcanoes. I'm obsessed with volcanoes. My first video on my YouTube channel is about a volcano in Vanuatu, and it's amazing. It's not very well edited video, but it was my first video I posted and ghosted. But yeah, that just tells you I love volcanoes. Sorry, no time. He is chewing stuff up now. You will have to tell the story. Okay. Lavender. Hello, Lavender. My gosh, everyone's here this morning. I didn't expect everyone to be here, I'll be honest. Normally on a Friday morning, there's lots of live streams going, which is Thursday night in America. So a lot of live streams are going. So I kind of miss, a lot of we're sharing it around, guys. And please you don't need to stay here and like babysit me. Please, I'll talk to myself. So you can, keep on going and looking at other people and share the love. But hello, Lavender. How are you? Everyone doesn't know Lavender. Lavender is our friend from Australia. She's only a young person. So, I mean, I know she is actively putting stuff on her channel. I don't know, but I don't like to promote because she's like 16. I just think that young people should just enjoy their childhood, I think, anyway. But how are you, Lavender? I hope you're well. I know that your parents were divorcing the last time I chatted to you, so I hope everything's okay. Shannon's got here, no, I went near, but around Kruger National Park. Okay, yep. Okay, so let me tell you a story. Let me just get sidetracked. Susan just told me this cute story. Oh, no, I can't get it. I can't get it. Can I get it? No, because I'm on my phone. Okay, so she sent me a message and she said, "We are keeping the love on you, Dora." Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ninja. So Susan, we all know she's got this little puppy, right? And it's been sleeping on her little bed, not on her bed, but on Jasper's little bed on the floor. And now Susan's got a couple of cats, right? And they're not very happy about this new little fluffy thing that's been, put into the house that Susan is putting a lot of attention to because, puppies need attention, right? So she's asleep. Now, she's been not getting much sleep. It's been 2 weeks that she's had the puppy, and it's like having a baby. She's been up, down, like, wiping up poo and wee off the floors all the time, taking it outside, trying to, feed it, all the things. Okay, just my hair. Try to, many things, right? You've all had puppies. It's a lot of work, right? And so she's asleep. It's 5:30 in the morning. She's in sound asleep, and there's like and like a little bark from a little puppy. And Susan's like dead awake, right? She's like, "What the hell's going on?" And poor Jasper is like, and wheeze because when puppies are scared, they wee. So the cats come in and like try to attack the puppy. Jasper's like frozen and weed. I shouldn't laugh, but just the way that Susan wrote it, you guys know that Susan's a great writer, right? And I'm not giving it justice. That's why I wanted her to sell the story, but that's okay. Hopefully I'll give it justice. But it was just, maybe it had to be there. It was just very cute. I just had this vision of poor little Jasper, like little puppy, like, no, that's not a puppy, but anyway, that's far from a puppy. But it was cute. So let me go back. So I figure that as Shannon said, you cannot be animaled out. It's just not possible. And I know my personality. I love animals, so it's not possible. And if I'm going to go all the way to Africa, which is, all the way that way, like it's not far, but it's not exactly somewhere that I go past all the time, right? It's not like Asia that I probably will go again, like Bali or like Thailand or Malaysia. They're close to home. They're on the way to Europe or on the way to America. Um, Africa's off the beaten track. It's not somewhere that you just fly by. I've been to Egypt, but I mean, I would love to say that I would go back to Egypt, but again, it's not somewhere that it's just easy accessible. Bali is just easy, guys. Bali, and in Asia, it's easy to be assessed from Australia. So anyway, like I said, will I ever go back to Africa? Maybe not. So if I'm going to be in Africa, this is my mindset that I might as well take some more weeks off and see some more of Africa, right? I'm only officially going to South Africa, Zimbabwe, flying in of Kenya, out of Kenya to go to Tanzania, then from Tanzania over to Zanzibar, and that's the end of it. So that's why I'm tacking on some more time in Zanzibar because I think 3 days is not enough. I'm sorry, but I love the beach. And I've always dreamed of going to Zanzibar, so I figure I might as well see it. And plus, I want to see Jazz. We were supposed to meet up in Bali. That didn't happen. But I'm planning my trip that I'm not going to meet up with Jazz because just in case something happens to Jazz, I don't want to be like, oh, Jazz didn't turn up. What am I going to do? So I'm planning my trip around the fact that Jazz might not be there. But if she is, bonus, right? So I want to stay extra time in Zanzibar to see, the beach, walk on the beach. You know how I love the beach. So anyway, so I'm going to fly to Kenya, back to Nairobi, because you can't fly home from Zanzibar. So from Zanzibar, my friends are flying to Johannesburg and then Johannesburg back to Australia. I don't want to go back to Johannesburg, to South Africa. I just don't want to. Personally, I've got one day in Johannesburg. I plan to catch up with not catch up. I plan to go to the Apartheid Museum and learn a little bit more about the apartheid. Susan, sorry, it's not Susan. Shannon actually put a video out, and I haven't seen that video. I actually saved it in my playlist. I have to go back and see that. So, Shance's Travel went to South Africa a couple of months ago, and she went to Johannesburg, and she went to the Apartheid Museum. So her whole video is about that. So I need to go check that out. But it's not a very safe place, unfortunately. Even African people say don't go to Johannesburg. It's really not safe. So I don't plan to go back there. I'm going to stay in Kenya, in Nairobi. Kenya is actually quite a safe country to travel. There's lots of good public transport. Buses and trains are quite easily available. The flights are actually quite cheap there, cheaper. So from Nairobi, I'm going to climb a volcano. It's nothing massive, like it's not Kilimanjaro, Mum. Just if you're listening, it's not Kilimanjaro. I'd love to do Kilimanjaro. I'm just not fit enough for Kilimanjaro at the moment. Not that I'm not fit enough. It's just that, well, I've had a bad experience with altitude already. I don't know if it's a really good idea to test fate again. Plus, I'd be doing it by myself. I'd rather do it again with Diego. If Diego and I were going, like we were planning to go back when the pandemic happened, we were going to do Mount Kilimanjaro together. Hey, Andrew, how you going? Oh, gosh, here we go. Hello, my love. I fell out with Matt. Matt comes in your chat. He called me a liar about my mum died. Why would someone lie about their mum died? Okay, I'm not sure what that's about, Andrew. I don't think Matt would ever say that. I don't know what happened there, mate. But can we just? I'm really sorry that your mum died. Are you okay? Let's not focus on Matt. And like I said, there might be a miscommunication there because, as I said, Matt and I have been good friends. I wouldn't think Matt would ever call you out like that. Just might have been a miscommunication. I know that, when we've lost a loved one, it can be very stressful. Things can be taken the wrong way. Trust me. I mean, not that trust me, but like I've been there. When my father died, he was one in the chat talking about me, love. Okay. Okay, Matt, Andrew, I'm really sorry. Can I just focus on you and send you love? I'm so sorry about your mum. Your mum is in a better place now. I don't know what that place is, but I'm sure people in the chat, can you just send some love to Andrew and his mum? She's now our angel. She's looking over you, Andrew. Sorry, guys, there's a bit of background noise. Diego's doing a bit of building downstairs. I broke my ribs and fell on my motocross bike that day too, love. Okay, so you're in a lot of pain. Okay, I'm really sorry. Obviously, you wanted to, after your mum died, you probably wanted to just, get away. So you went on your motorbike to have a bit of fun, let loose a bit, and you've had an accident. I'm sorry. That's not great. So your legs are okay now? So you're okay, you're walking, obviously you're on your bike. Okay, so send you love. I'm really sorry that happened, Andrew. But your mum is in definitely a better place. Obviously, she was in hospital and she wasn't well. Um, and I know that you're sad, but look after you. This time is really hard after losing someone that you love so much. Look after yourself. Try not to drive your motorbike again and hurt yourself. Um, so back to my story. Lavender says, rest in peace. I hope you feel better soon. I forgot to tell you I fell and I broke my ribs that day as we love. Okay. I'm sorry. Um, so, um, as I said, yeah, so I plan to do the volcano. I would like to do a gaming park in Kenya. I had a look at some of the prices. It's not very expensive because obviously Kenya's a little bit cheaper than South Africa. Kruger National Park is one of the most biggest kind of gaming reserves that most people go to because it's I guess the most popular, maybe easy accessible, probably too. So Kenya is a little bit cheaper. So it's only going to be like $200-300 for a day tour or a couple of day tours. So I might do one of those just to have a different experience. I figure, as I said, when in Rome, you do the Roman things. Um, so, and then I would like to go to Rwanda. Rwanda has a very famous museum about the Tutsis. So that's a very, very sad story. I was talking to Jazz about it, and Jazz said you really need to prepare for it because it's actually really a bad story, and what you read in the museum is really, really sad. Um, so, but again, when I travel, for me personally, it's like geography. Um, when I was at school, I probably didn't take in school very well because I'm a very visual learner. I want to see the world with my own eyes. I don't like to read about it. I mean, you can read about something, but when you see something in your own eyes, it's something completely else, right? And when you read about, these atrocities that happen in the world, like for example, in Cambodia, a lot of bad stuff happened in Cambodia, um, in Siem Reap, where basically most of the population was nearly killed. It was some terrible stuff, terrible stuff. So when I was in Cambodia, I went to the museum. I read all about it. You see some of the torture device they did. It's horrible. And they've got a collection of skulls. This is how bad it is. Like they have collection of skulls of these poor people that were massacred. Um, so the Tutsi Museum is supposed to be terrible, but they put it there as a memory of what something, atrocity that happened. I think you had a question for me. Not sure if you answered already. I missed it, but I've got to get back to my schoolwork. Oh yeah, no problem, Dawn. Can't remember the story. I can't remember what I asked you. I can't. I think maybe did I? Yeah, no, I didn't. I can't remember what I asked. It's all right, mate. It's all good. Um, so anyway, I'm planning to. I really want to see the mountain gorillas. The mountain gorillas are, a once in a lifetime thing. Like it's one of those things that it's expensive. You have to pay for a permit. In Rwanda, it's like $1,500. It's very expensive. In Uganda, it's cheaper. So Uganda is a lot more cheaper to travel and to see things. Um, so I think I'm planning to go see the mountain gorillas in Uganda. It's it's still a lot of money, $800 to get the gorilla permit. So you actually have to have a permit because it's only allowed to have 96 people a day. I can't remember if that's in Uganda or is it in Rwanda, one or the other. It could be Rwanda. That's why it's more expensive, I think. So in Rwanda, there's only 96 people a day like are allowed to have permits per day. So that's why you got to pay for a permit. So same in Uganda, I believe maybe it's 156 people are allowed. There's a bigger population of gorillas in Uganda, so they're allowed to have more permits. But you pay for a permit, then you actually have to go on find a tracker to come take you on, to find the gorillas. So apparently the story there is, I said I don't like zoos. I don't plan to go to a zoo. I want to actually go out in tracking and find them. But it can take 2 hours. It can take 9 hours, depending on the terrain, the rain, where the animals are. So apparently, what happens is you pay money for this, right? I believe, I think in Uganda, it's $800 for the actual permit, but it's probably going to be another $500-600 to actually join a tour group, to have a tracker, all these kind of things, right? So what happens is you go to a meeting point. They all go from the same place. You show your permit because you've got to have your permit because there's only 156 of you or something like that. We're allowed to have that per day. So it's very heavily regulated, which I really think is a really good thing. And what happens is there's trackers that go out overnight. So they go out in the afternoon and they stay out overnight. They track the gorillas, so they know where they are. And there's lots of different populations. So I think there's about, I don't know, I can't remember completely, but there's at least 10 to 15 different families of gorillas that they track, so they know where they are. Whether or not they feed them is another thing. I don't know. Um, that's not cool. But what happens is they find out where they are, they pinpoint it, so they know where they are. They come back that morning. So basically, when you go to the morning, I think it's the briefing, I guess, they tell you about the do's and the don'ts. Um, they allocate no more than, I think, believe 14 people per group. And then there's 10 to 14 groups. And then they all go out to different gorilla families. So one family might be 2 hours away hiking, one family might be 9 hours away hiking. Maybe not 9 hours total. Like it might be 4 hours hiking, and then you're only allowed 1 hour. So once you see the gorillas, you're allowed 1 hour. So they don't want animals too humanized. So basically, you've got to stay at your distance. There's a perimeter. I don't know what they mean by that, but there's a distance. There's not like a marker or anything, but there's the gorillas, eating or sleeping or whatever they're doing. And then you just basically stand at that point. You're not allowed to go any closer. Apparently, I have seen videos where the gorillas can come up to you. That sounds very scary. But apparently the gorillas, probably not the silverbacks. If the silverback came up to me, I think I'd run the other way or shit myself. But apparently the babies will just walk or, walk in front of you and stuff like that, and can even walk past you. I have seen videos where silverbacks will actually walk past you. I don't know if I want that to happen, to be honest. Silverbacks are big animals, right? Um, but like I said, this is a once in a lifetime thing. Seeing a mountain gorilla, for me personally, is up there with one of the best animals you could ever see in your life. Like that's one of the best. That's one of my big animals that I want to see. It's not the elephant. It's not the lion. That's not. I mean, I'm happy to see that, right? But that's not my everything. The mountain gorilla is what I've always wanted to do. It's like one of my biggest bucket lists. And the beluga whale. You guys heard of the beluga whale? I'm sure you have. It's a white. I think it's a whale. It's a white thing. That's in, I think it's Newfoundland in Canada or in Alaska, somewhere up that way. But yeah, they're the two animals, and the panda bear. But unfortunately, I have seen the panda bear already in a zoo, and I feel really disgusting about that because I feel dirty. I don't like zoos. Don't like zoos. And I've seen one in a zoo. Absolutely beautiful to see a panda bear, but it's not the same. I'd love to see a panda bear in the wild, but apparently you can't see them. Apparently there is so little panda bears left in the world that they're all in zoos or in sanctuaries. And the only way you can go to a sanctuary is you have to work there. You actually have to do one of these tours where basically you work in a Chinese sanctuary, like, cleaning up their poop, which one day I'd like to do. But anyway, they're my three animals that I would really, really like to see. Hey, Rhonda, how you going? How are you, mate? G'day, mate. Yeah, so they're my three animals that I really, really would like to see. Mountain gorilla, beluga, and a panda. So I haven't been able to join the chat. Jasper never stops moving. The trip is sounding very real. I know, Susan, it's very real. So basically, I'm trying to find a mountain gorilla tour. Um, I wasn't planning to do the mountain gorillas this time, just because, again, timing. Um, I have been doing, yeah, it's been a bit of a manic year. There's been a lot of else going on, that I just didn't really focus on this trip to Africa. The 3 weeks is planned. As I said, it's just planned, it's paid for. I've been paying it off bit by bit. It's officially paid for. I don't have to worry about that trip now. It's coming in less than 2 months. The only thing I need to do is apply for my visas in this weekend. So, but I'm trying to figure out the next bit. So, like I said, my plan is to meet up with Jazz. Jazz has already seen the mountain gorillas, so she doesn't want to see the mountain gorillas. So she's seen them quite a few times. Apparently in Gabon, where she's from, she can see the mountain gorillas. I don't know if they're still there, but what I've heard of, there's only 3 locations that are pretty big for mountain gorillas: is Uganda, Rwanda, and the Congo, which is next to Rwanda and Uganda. But apparently the Congo is also in political war at the moment, so you can't go there. So I'm not doing that. So yeah, I will go see them in Uganda. But because I left it to last minute, I also knew that you should actually be planning like 6 months to 1 year in advance to get a gorilla permit. And I said I didn't do this. So the other day I happened to look online, because I actually have to fix this trip up. I have to organise, if I'm going to do a mountain gorilla trip, if I'm going to, I should just see if I can get a ticket. If I can, I can, I can't, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. So I emailed a couple of places and they said, yes, we have availability. So I have to decide which one I want to do. There's many options. And look, this is my mindset right now. I've spent a hell of a lot of money on this 3-week trip, and there's no way I'm going to spend that much more money on a couple more weeks left in Africa. Like, I'll be doing it cheaper. I won't be staying at, fancy resorts or hotels. It'll be like cheaper accommodation, or backpackers, or I'm going to share it with Jazz. Or I also have a travel club. I'm going to use a travel club so I'll get cheaper accommodation. So it's not going to be as expensive as the first 3 weeks, okay? But to see the mountain gorillas, like I said, it's $800 in Uganda, and it's $1,300 in Rwanda. So I'm going to see them in Uganda. It's cheaper. And there's more availability to get a permit in Uganda because there's more options. So I've got a week block that I said, look, these are the options. I have all this availability. I don't care what day it is. Just give me the day, and then I will organise to get myself to Uganda for that, for that. So now what I'm trying to do is organise whether I join a tour. I don't particularly want to do a private one. I don't need to do it by myself. I'd rather have paid friends, right? And like safety in numbers. I don't really want to be in like a mountain by myself with a gorilla with just 1 or 2 tracking people. I think that's a bit of excessive. Like, I just think that's an expensive tour by myself. If you do it with other people, it's going to be cheaper, right? So anyway, that's what I'm looking for. They've given me options, of course, for the private one. It's going to be $3,000. That's ridiculous money. I'm not going to pay that, guys. I can't justify paying $3,000 for 1 day. Like, I don't have that much money. I just think that's excessive. So I'm looking at it. There's an option that was given to me that is a 5-day trip. And basically you go to 2 other gaming reserves in Uganda and Rwanda. So again, I'm getting to see other gaming reserves, but in Uganda, another country, and Rwanda, another country. So that kind of, ties up with all the other gaming parks I'm going to do. And part of that is the gorillas. So 1 day in looking at the gorillas, or 1 hour, should I say, when you find them. And there's a chimpanzee hike, there's a volcano hike, there's a whole lot of stuff. And that is $4,500 Australian for 5 nights, and it's budget accommodation. So it's not povo, but it's, it's okay. It's medium accommodation. It's a medium. So that's more my style. That's the way I like to travel. Like, I'm not into the, high class stuff. And I don't mind budget, but I guess in Africa, I don't really want to be, out in the elements, in a in a swag where the elephants come, stamp on me. um, so anyway, I'm looking at that option. Um, so yeah, I don't know. And basically, how I look at it now, I've been paying a mortgage for many years. Um, I could pull some money out of out of my home loan. I'm not proud of that, guys. I'm not saying that you should do that, but I figure this little extra thing that $4,000, $5,000 is not really what I wanted to spend on top of all the money I'm already spending. I haven't factored that in. I haven't saved for that. I haven't planned for that. Um, but I figure if I'm that close, and I probably might not ever go back to Africa, that I probably should. So I will probably take that money out of my home loan, which that all that means is that this $5,000 I've paid for many years, or 1 year, or I don't know how many years do you pay, whatever. I'm just taking that out, and then I just owe that more money, an extra $5,000. So I figure that's better than putting it on a credit card, which I would refuse to do. If I don't have the money, I wouldn't do it. But in saying that, I'm kind of stealing from Peter to pay for Paul, if that makes any sense. Um, I do have the money in my bank account if I did want to do it. I want to leave some money in there just in case. Like I don't want to have to ring home and say, "Hey mum, I'm in a situation, I have no money. Can you help me?" Or, "Hey Diego, can you give me $1,000 because I can't get out of the situation I'm in." I just want to have my own money in my own bank account, that if something goes pear-shaped, I can help myself, right? That's just who I am. So that's why I think, as I said, I haven't factored in that extra bit of seeing the African animals. I don't want to spend $3,000 for 1 day. But I could justify spending like nearly $5,000 over 5 days to do a whole lot of stuff. Like, the chimpanzees, you see a couple of different gaming parks, and the gorillas. I think that's more. I'm still paying $3,000, I guess, but the rest of it around it feels like that makes more sense to me. It might not make sense to you, okay? But that's in my head. So I figure, anyway, that's where I'm at. So that's what I'm doing this weekend. Actually, that's what I'm doing today. So I'm going to get off the live stream. I am going to pull myself together and try to find a goddamn tour that fits all the, things. Because I'm dealing with Africa, obviously different languages, time zones. I have sent a couple of emails last night, so I'm hoping that when I get off this live stream, there'll be a couple of emails. What is the time zone in Africa? I don't know. Hold on a second. What is the time zone in Africa? Does anyone know the time zone in Africa? Africa. Okay, let's go Uganda. Uganda time right now. Okay, it's 2:20 a.m. So I won't actually hear from them till my afternoon. Okay, so Uganda is what's now 7 hours behind. Good to know. 7 hours behind me in Australia. I don't know what that means for you guys where you are. So I'm actually going to get the link for Shannon's video. So Shansters Travels, Shansters Travels. She has a premiere. She said, where is she? Shansters Travels. I'm going to give you the link for this one first, though, guys, because I actually think this would be a really good video to go see. I don't know. You can see my video. Why can I not? Give me a second. I'm in another screen. Oh, guys, Strings and Pucks are live right now. You guys are familiar with Strings and Pucks, Jeremy? Oh, that's good to know. Okay, let me go back to my page. My page. Where's my live stream? View channel. There's me.
For the truest test in our controlled trials, we took patients.
Of course, I have an ad. I have to watch my own ad.
Versus popular tablet.
Skip it. There's me talking to myself. Of course, I have an ad. I have to watch my own ad. Skip it. This is how I have a conversation with myself. Hey, Dora, how you going? Hey, Dora, how you going? This is how I have a conversation with myself. Hey, Dora, how you going? Hey, Dora, how you going? I'm great. How are you? Okay. Hey, Dora, how you going? I'm great. How are you? Okay. So what's happening, Lavender? I'm back. I fell asleep because I've been sick for a week. Oh, I'm so sorry, Lavender, that you've been sick. Have you got the flu or something? So, guys, I just put a link to Shannon's latest video. It's already out. It's the one that the Apartheid Museum in Johannesburg. I'm planning to go there. I'm really interested in knowing more about the apartheid and basically, yeah, the history in South Africa because there seems to be a lot of well, there's still a lot of stuff happening in Africa, right? In South Africa, Johannesburg particularly. Hey Steve, how you going? Particularly Johannesburg because it's not safe. It's really not safe. They basically said just don't go anywhere by yourself. It's that bad. So we're flying in, but we're flying in a day early because if our flight gets stuffed up, at least we're going to fly in the next day and we'll still make it in time for our tour. Because obviously we're doing a private tour, and if we miss a day, then we've missed a whole day. And as I said, this is an expensive tour. You don't want to miss a whole day. So we're going to stay an extra day. We fly from Johannesburg. No, we get picked up to go to a gaming park in. Let me actually hold on, guys. Let me see if I can find the email for this. What is it called? Encompass. Let me show you a bit of the trip. Actually, no, don't worry. It's all good. You don't need to see it. Anyway, guys, I've been yabbering on for 72 minutes. That's enough. I was trying to do. I've got this thing. I was going to be doing some exercise on that, but instead I was talking. Too busy talking. So I want to say goodbye. Have an awesome evening to Kirsty, and I know there was Matt in the UK. Good night, because it must be late there in the UK. We've got Steve, we've got Simply Debbie Sue, we have Dr. Ninja, we have Mike was in the background, we had Rhonda. I don't know who else was in the background. Oh, Jordan. I think Jordan's not there anymore, but it's in the afternoon. It must be like 5:30 in the afternoon for you guys. So thank you for joining me and having some time with me, giving me some, time. 'Cause time's important, right? Have an amazing rest of your evening, night. Good night, Kirsty. Good night, Dean. Good to see you. Hey, Dean, actually, Kirsty, just a question. Um, does Dean give me permission to use his dancing the other day? Because I've screenshotted it and I'm going to somehow edit it together to make something. Or you can send me the email of Dean dancing when he was making you the cake. Calling Kirsty. Bring, 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 bring. See, Debbie Sue. Bring, bring. Kirsty might have already gone already. But anyway, guys. Oh, Nicholas was there too. Nicholas and Lavender. I'm going to forget my Australian friends. And Susan and Paul in the background lurking. Have an awesome Friday. Look after yourself. He said yes. Perfect. Thank you. But yeah, also send me that email of him dancing. Maybe I can put that together. That actually might be better because it's only a very short video. I'll wait for that email. If you can find me that email, I'll find me that dance where Dean was dancing while he was making your cake. That'd be great. No pressure. See you guys. Thanks for being here. Oh yeah, Dr. Ninja. See you guys. Happy holidaying, Dr. Ninja. and we'll see you later. Bye.